Greetings, seekers of wisdom. Today, we delve into one of the most profound concepts in Buddhism, emptiness or sunyata. This teaching, straight from the Buddha's lips, offers a path to liberation through understanding the true nature of reality. Let's begin with the Buddha's words from the Cūḷasuññata Sutta. Ananda, this palace of Megara's mother is empty of elephants, cattle, horses and mares. It's empty of gold and silver. It's empty of assemblies of men and women. There is only this that is not emptiness, namely, the oneness dependent on the mendicant Sangha. Here, the Buddha introduces emptiness not as nothingness, but as the absence of certain things while others remain. He continues, in the same way, a mendicant, ignoring the perception of the village and the perception of people, focuses on the oneness dependent on the perception of wilderness. The Buddha teaches us to shift our perception, to see beyond the conventional reality we're accustomed to. He's not asking us to deny the existence of things, but to see them in a new light. Now, let's turn to a powerful example from the Buddha's time. Once, when the Buddha was staying at Savatthi, he encountered a group of monks who were arguing about metaphysical questions. He addressed them. Monks, don't you fear, don't you feel ashamed that you, who have gone forth out of faith from home to homelessness, in this well-taught Dhamma and Vinaya, are still engaging in such talk? The Buddha then taught them about emptiness. This is empty of a self, or of what belongs to a self. This simple statement encapsulates a profound truth. The Buddha is telling us that when we examine our experience closely, we find no permanent, unchanging self. Everything is in constant flux, interdependent, and empty of inherent existence. But what does this mean for our daily lives? The Buddha explains in the Phena Sutta, form is like a lump of foam, feeling like a water bubble. Perception is like a mirage, volitions like a plantain trunk, and consciousness like an illusion. These vivid similes illustrate the empty nature of our experience. Just as a lump of foam appears solid but dissolves when examined closely, our seemingly solid sense of self dissolves under scrutiny. However, the Buddha cautions against misunderstanding emptiness. In the Alagaddūpama Sutta, he warns, there are, monks, some misguided men who study the Dhamma. Having studied the Dhamma, they don't ascertain the meaning of those teachings with wisdom. He's reminding us that emptiness isn't nihilism. It's not about denying the conventional reality of our experiences, but understanding their ultimate nature. The Buddha offers practical advice for realizing emptiness in the Mahāsuññata Sutta. Here, Ananda, a monk, attends to the perception of emptiness internally. As he is attending to the perception of emptiness internally, his mind doesn't enter into that perception of emptiness. When this happens, he understands. My mind doesn't enter into that perception of emptiness and isn't freed through it. This passage shows that realizing emptiness is a gradual process, requiring patience and persistent practice. The Buddha emphasizes the liberating potential of understanding emptiness in the Cūḷasuññata Sutta. This is the true, undeceiving, real emptiness. Whoever, whether monk or nun, constantly lives having attained this emptiness, I say that they live in the supreme dwelling of the noble ones. In conclusion, the Buddha's teaching on emptiness isn't a dry philosophical concept, but a practical tool for liberation. By understanding the empty nature of phenomena, we can free ourselves from attachment and suffering. As the Buddha says in the Dhammapada, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. May these words of the Buddha guide you on your path to understanding emptiness and finding true freedom. May all beings be well and happy.